Good morning. It is the first week of summer and I am in the Teanaways on a peak bagging mission. Today I am heading up the Bean Creek Basin Trail and I'm going to be climbing two peaks, Mary and Judi's peaks, which are two more summits that I've been wanting to get in the Teanaways. It is actually quite cold this morning and there's a bit of haze in the sky, but the views on the drive-in were gorgeous. So should get some awesome views of Mount Stewart. And this route is going to be roughly 6.5 miles round trip with 3,000 feet of gain. It's going to involve some off-trail navigation and a tiny bit of scrambling, but it should be great. Starting off the summer with two summits. Well, let's go. Welcome to Bean Creek Basin, and probably one of my favorite alpine meadows. I have come here for 3 summers now, and this truly is one of the most beautiful alpine meadows. It's just so densely packed. These gorgeous wildflowers, absolutely stunning. And since I have made it to the basin, I now have my target, which you can't really see right now. So over here I've climbed all this. I've climbed Earl, I've climbed Bean. Mary and Judi's are 2 peaks over here. So I've got to go through the woods, and then this is where it turns, and then this is where it turns into a route finding mission. I'm taking the easy way up. There are a couple of ways up these peaks. I'm taking the easy way up. There's going to be a very primitive boot path, I think, but this is where it's going to get very route findy, but there's a pretty straightforward spine to get up to Judi's, and then you take the ridge over to Mary's Peak. So that's the goal. I've got 1,000 feet more of climbing to do. Before I do that, I'm having second breakfast down here because I already got hungry, but this is definitely an incredible place to have breakfast, and I am all alone here. There's no one backpacking. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, but the easy part is over, the hard part begins. first summit down, summit of Judi's Peak, and getting up here actually wasn't too bad. It was pretty straightforward. So basin's down there, and then you just cut through the trees. You carry this spine basically up to the summit, and I can also see where I'm going. This summit here, that is Mary's Peak, and I'm going there next. Just traverse the ridge, and there's a boot path most of the way, so that's the next target. And as you can see, it is way hazier than I anticipated. There is a wildfire up in the Glacier Peak wilderness that I think is blowing down this way, but the air quality is actually pretty good. I checked it because I got service, and it's still in the green, and there's no wildfires nearby, but yeah, definitely hazy. And I mean, that's summer for you. We had a pretty fast snow melt, but can definitely see all of these incredible peaks. But yeah, I'm going to head on over to Mary's Peak now. I'm really looking forward to this ridge traverse, because that is the real fun in the Teanaways, is a good ridge traverse. I'm going to take my final break up on that peak because it's the taller of the two. So I'm on Judi's, going over to Mary's. Summit number 2, summit of Mary's Peak. That was actually a pretty fast little ridge traverse. I thought it was gonna take longer. This took like 20 minutes or something. Really easy. It's mostly class 2. It's pretty obvious where you go. There's just a little bit of scrambling on a couple of parts, but yep, there's Judi's. That's where I was. Came up this. Here's the summit of Mary's Peak. Oh boy. And I mean, this opened up the main view. Okay, there may be some haze, but the view that I came for is here. Mount Stewart, the Enchantment Range. So we've got Argonaut, Kolchak, Dragontail, Little Annapurna. You can see the point of Prusik, McClellan Peak, and then we got more of the Teanaways. So that's Earl Peak, Bean Peak, Volcanic Neck, and Devil's Head. And I have climbed all of those except for Volcanic Neck. So I've done this whole ring that encircles Bean Creek Basin now that I'm on Mary's, which is really cool. And they're all different. Yeah, last year I did this ridge. This year I did this ridge. And some people really like to come out here and link the entire ridge up. That's a much longer day than I planned for, but that's one of the fun things you can do in these mountains, is there's just ridge lines for days. So many summits to pick from. But this is where I'm gonna take my break before I head back down. Yeah, this is the better view for sure. saying goodbye to Mary's Peak. That's the summit. Bye-bye. And let's see, I can show you the route that I'm gonna be going back down. So I gotta go back down the ridge, and then once I get to like the saddle here, you can cut down pretty much take this spine. It's pretty obvious spine down from Judi's Peak down to the basin below. It is route finding, but as long as you're on that spine, it's pretty straightforward. It's not dense bushwhacking or anything. And once I get down to the basin, it's smooth sailing from there. So yeah, there's just this first return mile that's gonna be a pain. So gonna get to it. I am on the last mile out of here, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Judi to Mary's Peak concludes my peak bagging mission to get all of the summits around Bean Creek Basin. So that was really fun. The smoke, as bad as it looked, was not too bad in the air, which, you know, was good for me. A shame I missed out on some of the more epic views, but I got my summits. Notes on the route. So this is not one I recommend, mostly because there is not a trail up to the peaks. There's a very nice trail up to Bean Creek Basin, which I highly recommend. And coming this time of year, that meadow is stunning. But once you get there, it involves off-trail travel up a gully, then onto a ridge to the summits. And you do have to go in the woods, and you want to have good route finding. It involves route finding. And then the ridge itself actually wasn't too bad. I would say it's like a class 2. There's a couple of points when I had to scramble over some rock, but mostly class 2. And I did the easy way. So there's a couple of ways up those peaks. And if you look them up online, you'll probably see different routes, because other routes are more popular. They're more challenging, they're more technical, but they're also more direct. And then a lot of people, like I said, link up that ridge. So I did the easiest way, and I would still say that's definitely not a beginner-friendly route, just because of that. Hopefully you can hear me over the creek. But if you have some route finding skills and you've done Bean and you're into peak bagging like me, definitely worth it. Great start to summer. I love coming out here this time of year. The wildflowers were just putting on a spectacular show. I've seen a lot of alpine meadows, and that one it is one of the best. Those purple flowers especially. A I'll put in the video what they're called, but those are just everywhere. I've never seen them so dense anywhere else. So it's a really beautiful place, so you want to be careful and not trample the meadows. Well, that is another successful Teanaways peak bagging mission. I am getting back to the car, so thank you so much for watching, and here are my favorite pictures from the climb today. Enjoy.